नीलसाइया तलसा सोडमाडी सोलरे जाने मनमाची सिटी पण्डाम नीलसाइया तलसा सोडमाडी सोलरे जाने मनमाची सिटी पण्डाने कोही देलु साकतानी माया सोडमाडी सोलरे जाने मनमाची सिटी पण्डाम ससुरे आयो नजारे सोलमाडी सोलरे जाने मनमाची सिटी पण्डाने टेकी देलु साचते माया सोडमाडी सोलरे जाने मनमाची सिटी पण्डाने ससुरे आयो नजारे सोडमाडी सोलरे जाने मनमाची सिटी पण्डाने केडी मानिसा एचे कमायो सोडमाडी सोलरे जाने मनमाची सिटी पण्डाम ससुरे आयो नजारे सोडमाडी सोलरे जाने मनमाची सिटी पण्डाने
INEC argues that the root cause of climate crisis lies in the unsustainable development model that India has been pursuing. And this development model has not only been ecologically unsound, but it has exacerbated inequity.
We organized the round table in Bombay, and it was a meeting of many different people from different walks of life. And one very well-meaning, well-read, said, you know what, we could have solar power in Rajasthan. You know, you cover the whole of Rajasthan with solar panels, and that will give electricity to the whole of India and maybe outside India also. Anyway, nobody lives there. And for me, this really epitomizes what you do when you have centralized planning.
See, for INEC, decentralized energy options or decentralized renewable energy means village level, community level renewable technologies which are ecologically sound and which can be adopted or adapted by the local communities. And the key aspect is that the governance, ownership and management lies with the people themselves. And that is why decentralized, because it's the part of the people. Access to energy is a basic human right, and it's an important input for human development. The right to electricity, the right to work, the right to study and to fend for livelihood after it gets dark is a right to growth and for a better life. More so for such communities who have been living in the periphery of the society, for whom this little energy is crucial for their subsistence. We have been pushing it with the government to support such DEOs, as we call them, the decentralized energy options or the decentralized renewable energy technologies, to support, to facilitate such DEOs and other such relevant models in terms of micro hydros, lesser than 50 kilowatts, which are completely community based, which are just enough to supply the lighting requirements, maybe the milling requirement to run a community television, and for basic survival.
government should follow this type of development. It's good for the people and villagers, mostly Adivasis and who are living depending only agriculture, all things. But the government people are not working properly. They are not doing the alternative steps for the good for the people of rural area. They are not supporting well.
In terms of how the rural communities can manage the technology to address their basic issues, and as well as they also get involved, they get empowered through the technology to enhance their livelihood and to protect their environment.
Looking at the process of development, the faulty development path that India has been pursuing, which is based on fossil fuels, the conventional fuels, and in this context, it is very imminent to advocate for an alternate paradigm to development, which is, equitable, which is inclusive, and which is based on a low carbon path.
We have some figures which say that our per capita carbon footprint in some of our villages in North Karnataka is about 0.75 tons. At that logic, our people are not the problem, right? We should actually be focusing on people elsewhere for this. But clean technologies can bring in and can contribute to a change in the quality of life of our people. And because they are going to be the most impacted by climate change, it also can provide them a means, as I said, to enter a debate on climate change.
But one of the things which INEC has been thinking about the low carbon path is that within the framework of the international negotiations, the UNFCCC, there is an obligation of the developed countries on technology and financial transfers. And unless that is forthcoming, India cannot go into the low carbon path. It's very clear. Not just India. Most poor countries, most developing countries will not be able to make that transition. If we look at the involvement of NGOs like members of INEC who are doing all these projects on renewable energy, microhydel, solar, gas, not gasifiers but stoves. Now they have great value because they have proved that this can be done. It is worth doing it and it can be done. But to think that people like INEC or NGOs can do it and solve the problem of that 55% that don't have it, or even the 20% of that 45% that do not have enough power supply, it's wishful thinking. Because the amount of resources, the amount of infrastructure that you need in order to satisfy these needs is tremendous. So these are only demonstrative projects that we have engaged in to respond to the needs that are felt and to experiment, and we have proved that it is possible. Now it has to be scaled up, and therefore you require support from the government to make this happen on a large scale. And therefore you have to have a regulatory framework. You have to have a framework that provides for finances to underwrite the whole infrastructure that is needed to make this happen in a decentralized way.
कोई देलु सा